Alright, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 replay cast. I feel like it's honestly been far too long since I did one of these, as the channel's usually pretty busy with the Alpha Star, with the Africa World, but man, do I ever love sitting down and just casting like a one-off StarCraft 2 match from some awesome tournament out there. And so, we have one which I think is going to be pretty darn epic. It is going to be in the top left-hand side of the map. Innovation! Playing for Kazi Gaming. You guys should know who Innovation is. If you don't, you aren't doing your StarCraft 2 fan homework. And wait a second, did these guys' SCVs just cross paths? Oh my gosh, of course. It's a TvT, so it's starting off with a proxy. Naturally. Oh, naturally. So, a very odd opening here. I guess I should say his opponent in the bottom right. It's Triumphant Song Gaming's TY. TY and Innovation both just tried double proxy each other. You gotta love that. Not giving me time to do the introductions or anything. It's been far too long since I sat down and cast like a one-off StarCraft 2 match, and this is what you get. This is what you get. So, anyway, after that bit of an odd match, both these guys are going to be in an odd spot, I guess, a little bit uncomfortable. I think TY got the better scout at that because he pulled his SCVs back first, so he has the slightly quicker barracks. So as a result, I think he's going to have the slightly quicker command center. Innovation, though, opted to go for a double gas behind this. So the game is going to normalize. It's like nothing ever happened. Innovation was going for a lethal proxy on TY, and TY was going to go for a lethal proxy on Innovation. But they kind of just like canceled each other out. So that was interesting. And yeah, so both these guys, I guess I can talk a little bit about them being StarCraft 2 gods, basically. Innovation, he is just known to be one of the best of the best. For a long time, he was considered the best Terran in the world. He's just a macro machine. He is still incredibly good. He has his slumps. With Innovation, it usually seems he's incredibly good or he's slumping. But he's been pretty consistent as of late. TY, on the other hand, he's someone who's considered pretty well-rounded, but I feel like for TY, we've spent a lot more time waiting for TY to get big results than him having big results. I know that's a bit odd for me to say, as he's done incredibly well. He won like IEM a few years ago. He came second in a Code S multiple times, and so he's very, very good. And everyone knows how good he is, but he's actually still, in a sense, people are waiting for him to like show complete more dominance, I'd even say. Anyway, we have a bit of an odd skirmish going on so far. Innovation sneaking units around the map while TY is just trying to stay a little bit closer to home. But everything is pretty normal here as TY gets his CC up first. So Innovation's behind a little bit on the economy. Then on the flip side, though, Innovation has the faster starport because, or actually, no, he doesn't, pardon me. So TY is actually just straight up ahead, as a matter of fact. Faster base, all the while Innovation just a little bit behind. Nothing too major that these guys can't overcome due to the volatility of TvT, but just a little bit behind. We check the units here as 3 Reapers for Innovation, 2 Hellions, so he's got slightly more early game units, whereas TY has gone for the Marine production. And man, is 4 has been the number as of late. 4 Marines for TY. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that means let's try and hit 4 likes on this video. I know that you guys usually prefer to watch like the Alpha Star and stuff on the channel, but this is some god tier StarCraft 2 we're already watching as the game's unfolding. TY is going to be moving out for a drop. He's going to be looking to put a little bit of pressure on Innovation, but I don't think he's going to get too much done just due to the nature of defensive play. And look at that, Innovation already gets a Cyclone lock on the Medivac, so bruises that up a bit. He's about to have a siege tank out as well. He's got a Raven, so he's going to toss down an auto turret, and that is definitely going to send TY packing. Some of the Marines get gunned down by that turret, and then Innovation gets up the siege tank. So yeah, TY's pressure is over. Psych or Hellion eats a nasty shot there. Innovation does a great job repelling that attack. Both players throw up a third command center, just showing how hard it is to actually kill someone playing defensive. So they're like, fine, we'll invest in a third CC, as the odds of ending the game on a map like Simulacrum is incredibly low off of a 2-base. It's very risky to 2-base on a map like this. TY, notably, he does get up his third command center on location, so still taking his slight lead and running with it a little bit. Ultimately, nothing too major, though. Now, the question for this game is, what sort of tech is Innovation going to go for, as we already see TY committing to bio play, whereas Innovation himself has not made such a decision, and he's actually just continuously producing off of his 1-1-1. But there we go, an extra factory pops on up for Innovation, and perfect time scan for TY. Sees the second factory right as it goes up, and he gets the big confirmation that Innovation is going to be playing mech. And this is something that TY really needs to know, because mech is a tough beast to bring down. But knowing that your opponent's meching ahead of time gives you a lot of freedom. It gives you freedom to put on a bit of pressure. It gives you freedom to go greedy into your own economy. And so as a result, we see TY already feeling a little bit more free to move out on the map. He's just producing workers non-stop. And yeah, he's got multiple ways he can go about dealing with this. But man, I feel like a large portion of the epic matches I cast are just TvTs, in which one player is playing bio and the other is playing mech, as the matchup just works out that way. And I don't think we could have a better Terran playing bio or a better Terran playing mech. Innovation, he's been meching in pro games for such a long time. Same goes for TY. We do take a look, though. I mean, TY tries to push in. He does lock onto a siege tank, but Innovation saves it. He kills off both the Cyclones, so that's a nice bit of damage there, as the tanks did manage to clean that up. And then double armory on the way for Innovation, and he should have this base completely secured. I don't think there's a hope of TY breaking this location yet. As TY powers up and gets up his 4th and 5th barracks, he's going to have a lot more bio production, a lot more potential for a big attack or something like that. But for now, as the game is just starting to heat on up, there isn't a chance of Innovation pushing in, I don't believe. Or of TY pushing in, pardon me. And TY realizes this. He just says, fine, I'm not going to go for heavy bio aggression. I know Innovation is a solid Terran. So he just invests in a 4th CC. He's got his 1-1 going. He gets up an armory. He gets up a fusion core for that Liberator range. All the while, Innovation is starting to be a pain. Hellion delaying the 4th CC. That is a nice identification there. TY, however, is going hard on the greed because he knows he can. He's getting up a 5th base as well as his 4th base, which is just the absolute right decision. And okay, Blizzard, please. Blizzard. Stop punishing Terrans. Stop punishing Terrans who are ahead of the game. Look at TY's SCV. This is a quality of life change I want to see. This is something that affects me in a lot of matches. This SCV right here, before it gets killed, TY realized that he was about to lose that SCV. He clicked another one on the command center as the first SCV was still alive. So basically, he's jumping the gun. He's getting ahead of it, so that his SCV was queued up to go and build this command center, anticipating the death of the first one. But because the SCV wasn't dead as TY clicked on it, the other SCV just goes there, and it just like hugs the command center. It doesn't start building. This is something that SCVs should do. Yeah, like, okay, that's my rant for the day. It's been a while since I had a good old LaughNgamez rant. But yeah, like that is one of the few things that just biffs me. And or miffs me. As a Terran, you look and you're like, oh, you look back like a minute or two later because you assumed your command center was going to be built, and you're like, no, it wasn't, because of the silliness of how the SCV doesn't start building it when you send a replacement ahead of time. Only Terran players would get this, but if chances are you're a Terran watching this match, if it's a TvT between Innovation and TY. So, can I get an amen? Amen! Anyway, enough of that silliness. Focusing on the game, we had a bit of downtime for that rant as the players were both just powering up. Innovation is going to be getting up his 4th base. It's actually off location, I want to say. Like that's far away, if I'm not mistaken. TY wants to push in, but he absolutely can't. Yeah, TY, I mean, he's just getting up all of his bases and everything, cinnamon spice and everything nice. Built a supply depot to spot run-bys. He's going to have to kill that later if he wants to take that base. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are running into a late game here. TY, he's looking for any little thing he can get, but Innovation has got this location on lock. A sensor tower gets spotted. That's or gets killed off. That's a little thing for TY, but it's very, very minute in a game like this. Okay, Siege Tank's on the way for Innovation as he's slowly approaching that max out. TY is maxed out this game, but he's probably going to want to trade this army out at some point or just stay hyperactive because he knows that Innovation, if he takes a head-on fight against him, will crush him because the mech army that's maxed out is far, far superior. So we're seeing TY go for a bit of a drop here, landing in the main base, while also going for a huge drop at the natural, but he quickly regrets that as there are plenty of turrets there for Innovation to intercept it, so that bio is basically forfeit. The bio in the main base is forfeit. TY does nab up a command center, which is a nice find. He's also going to trade out with some of these Hellbats. It would be nice to see him focus down 1 or 2 of these tanks. It doesn't do that. He's actually going to go in for a secondary drop on top of these siege tanks, so mad TY realizing an opportunity. It doesn't go too well for him, though. He trades out, picks off a few of Innovation's army, but ultimately that was a net positive trade for Innovation. TY crashing against his opponent, but not getting enough done. Of course, this game is still going to continue on from here, though, as it's a huge map. There's tons of bases for the players to take. And yeah, we take a look. 3-3 on the way for both players. Innovation heading towards his 3-3, I'd say, is the bigger deal because he's the meching player, and once you're like a maxed out, comfortable meching player, you are just a god, and it is a nightmare for your opponent to try and deal with. But still, TY shall not falter. He is continuing on with his bio production. Look at this. TY uses an interference matrix, but he's actually just going to try and unload some of his bio on these tanks. He is being so aggressive right now, bleeding off so many units. I mean, you got to give it to him for trying, but he is just like playing like a madman. Not really getting any significant pickoffs, but oh lord is he trying. He's just saying, I'm going to throw things at you, Innovation. You better be rock solid. Now, unfortunately for TY, Innovation has been rock solid so far. He hasn't really made a single mistake that I can really point out this game. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this match started with Innovation and TY both trying to proxy 2-racks each other. And then we get this epic TvT so far. Innovation going to be securing up his 5th base. TY, he wants to do something to try and stop it. He picks off a tank, but he eats a lot of shells there. So nothing really significant happening. TY once again is going to go for a big drop, and oh, this one could get something done. Innovation's main base is woefully unprepared for this drop. We take a look. This is 4 medivacs full of bio getting into the main base of Innovation. This will at the very least be a bit of a pain to clean up. But TY, he could have intercepted these siege tanks, but he actually didn't. So not microing this drop as well as he could have. He could have jumped on these tanks before they sieged up, I feel. However, the madness is not stopping there. TY going to unload on the tanks at the 3rd base of Innovation, realizing that there's only a few tanks there. And this is going to be where the damage starts to rack up, I feel. The 3rd base under fire, sensor towers missile turrets getting picked off. The Vikings, as they fly over, are also valuable targets for TY to pick off. Looks like this drop will be cleaned on up, but TY got a bit more damage done there. I feel Innovation down to 58 SCVs. The Marines also kiting Hellbats, so TY is just staying super aggressive. I don't think I've ever seen a Terran stay this steadfast in the face of mech. He is just throwing more and more units at Innovation. He's like, yeah, more and more bioproduction, that's what I need. He's got gosh knows how many racks, 12 barracks there, just producing units non-stop. He's throwing away huge clumps of units, but he's really not dropping in supply much. Now, that being said, TY still has a lot more to get, I'd like to point out. And also another cute little thing, I didn't mention it earlier, TY got the rapid reignition system, so his medivacs are much quicker at boosting. Now, let's take a look here. TY wants to push in again and hit Innovation once more. Of course, Innovation is trying to cover all of his bases. TY sees this command center is vulnerable. He's going to try and pick it off. He's also just going to drop his bio on top of Innovation. And look at this. TY not giving Innovation a second to rest. However, siege tanks get set up on the high ground. But then look at that. All this bio is here. Innovation has been dislodged from his third base. He's going to lose one of the orbitals. He's got enough tanks to defend his fourth base, surely. But this is still rather uncomfortable for Innovation. Losing a base, losing some units, and just being not allowed to lock down the map. I mean, TY hasn't really been able to bring down Innovation's supply. He hasn't been able to slow down his economy by a huge amount. However, he has been able to make Innovation feel uncomfortable. He hasn't been able to really lock down the map. And by that I mean get tons of missile turrets, planetaries, really shut down any attack that TY goes for. No, because TY's been attacking non-stop. He hasn't given Innovation room to really breathe. And that has made life very hard for the Red Terran. However, as we take a look now, the 5th base, it is locked down. Plenty of turrets and tanks. The new 6th base, or the new 5th base, I guess. Plenty of turrets and tanks. Innovation also getting up a base in the bottom left. Always worth trying to sneak an extra base when you're meching. If your opponent doesn't punish it for long, it can be immensely helpful. But we do take a look right now. TY, he hasn't been able to attack successfully with his bio in a minute. And so as a result, Innovation is just going to be building up quite strong, and so far he has been able to do that. As we do take a look, though, TY finds the space in the bottom left. That's quite nice, getting that. As I said before, sometimes that can go unpunished, and Innovation could get away with that freely, but that's not the case. TY's bio also picking off Hellbats, which tend to stray too far forward, so a nice move there. All the while, yeah, TY, he's just got his large amounts of bio, and here we go. Innovation is split up. TY coming in from multiple angles. A beautiful engagement for the Blue Terran is just going to wipe out a ton of Innovation's supply, and this was a disastrous fight for Innovation, because look at this. He doesn't have tanks in position to defend this location either, so there's a chance that TY can just keep this going. He's got to be very respectful of the tanks, and he's actually going to go north. He's going to force the Vikings to land as he's picking off so many siege tanks, but his overstim bio does fall victim to those tanks there. Innovation going to repair that command center that was burning, but he did lose a large amount of supply. It's going to be kind of tough for him to replace this, as he's been investing a lot of money into newfound battle cruisers, while TY is still just producing hard on the bio. This is actually showing such steadfast from TY, as he is just building units non-stop. And just continuously attacking. And now look at this. He even baits Innovation a little bit. He went in, he was now gone into the main base when he was feigning a drop to the bottom left. I'm not sure how much this drop is actually going to get done, as there's a tank to greet this already. TY probably wants to do something about that. He didn't dive on the tank, though. The 2 BCs teleporting in are going to definitely shut down this drop. They may be able to Yamato some of the medivacs if they have Yamato cannon. They do not, though, however. So TY still just pulling Innovation apart a little bit. Here goes another attack to the bottom left. TY is playing out of his mind this game to shut down this mech. He is doing a fantastic job of taking down an army that is very hard to take down. The base in the bottom left does stay alive, though TY doesn't quite manage to grab that, which is a shame for him. However, if we do take a look, TY has pretty much every other base on the map, and is even taking a bite out of Innovation's side a little bit. You're just finding a little bit of Innovation's gas. And every bit that TY does that, is very, very important. Now, TY, once again, he's moving out. He's got a large chunk of bio looking for any engagement that he can get. And there's only 3 siege tanks in this location, and TY realizes that, so he's going to stim forward. He's going to pick off the siege tanks. And as a result, he's going to find himself another location to bite into, forces Innovation off this location. And yeah, Innovation loses turrets, sensor towers, loses the orbital, loses SCVs. A great engagement from TY, who is now, by the way, going into his own battle cruisers. TY, I must say, this game is playing a masterclass of a TvT in how to deal with mech. Like, Innovation has not had a second to breathe this entire game. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, if for a second Innovation is allowed to breathe, to stabilize, TY's whole attack plan would probably falter. The attacks would become less and less effective, but no, TY has been attacking essentially non-stop. He's a madman. He's now moving into this location here, hitting the base in the bottom left. He's just happy to trade out. He's got his Vikings as well. This planetary isn't being repaired by Innovation, so that's going to go down. We're also seeing an engagement. The Vikings of TY now engaging Innovation's battlecruisers. TY even teleported in his own battlecruiser to help out with the fight, but in the end it looks like he will be repelled by Innovation's air army. Might nab himself up 1 BC, gets the 1, got the base in the bottom left, so all in all, not a bad trade for TY. He's just focusing so hard on keeping more and more pressure on Innovation. Oh, take a look at this, though. Both players have just been trading out so much. Look at this. I think TY, he's going to land the Vikings, is he? He's going to pick off one of the BCs. His bio's coming in. I think maybe he should have landed the Vikings there to try and help deal with those tanks. That wasn't a great engagement from TY. But both players have been trading out so much this game, as like they're both broke. They actually are having a tough time remaxing as they make these expensive units, now making BCs, Innovation always making mech. And so that's very significant, as how both players don't really have a bank. Any one engagement can be very important here. TY is going to have one of his bases getting shelled at here. This, however, could be an opportunity for him, as Innovation is out on the map, which is always very, very risky for the Red Terran. I mean, take a look at this. TY, he's going to move in with his bio. He's going to bait a bit of a siege from Innovation. TY, though, he's moving in with his 2 BCs, going for some harassment. He could also very well teleport these on top of Innovation's army and then move in for a big engagement, which I honestly wouldn't mind. These BCs are going to teleport. They do not teleport on top of the army, though. TY is going for the engagement. I would have liked to see them teleport on top of the army, but even SCVs are getting pulled into this fight. TY realizes how important this is. He's got more and more reinforcements coming. However, the tanks at the back are getting off a lot of shots here. TY is going to clean this army up, but it did cost him a fair bit. And Innovation has had a bit of time to breathe. He hasn't been harassed for a minute or two. Both players are very low on economy, all things considered, as their bases are mining out. So that's making life a little bit tougher here, particularly for TY, who's been trading out non-stop. And dare I say, the efficiency of TY's trade should be pointed out. Usually a Bioterran is lagging behind in their resources lost efficiency, but TY is actually keeping pace with Innovation, and that just goes to show how well he's been playing this game. We do take a look, though. Innovation trying to secure this critical base here. Both these players are starting to get desperate. They don't have huge banks. They don't have huge armies that they can afford to throw away. TY is looking for any little thing that he can get. He's being active with his BCs, which he knows Innovation can't easily cover with just a few siege tanks. TY trying to poke and prod as much as he can, but Innovation knows how important this base here is for him. He knows how important it is for him to get the gas up, to get the mules dropping. TY can't really engage into this, I feel, so he's got to pull back. Innovation, though, is going to lose another orbital command here, as the BC is actually set to work on that. But still, look at this. Innovation knows how strong his army is. At the start of the game, I was talking about how important just having a big, strong mech army is and how tough it is to deal with. And as a result, we're seeing TY be bullied away. That's why he's focusing on hitting multiple locations. He's actually going to attack another command center, which is nuts. The BCs for TY can't actually engage these Vikings, though. They'll win that. So a nice trade there. He's actually just going to move across the map, too. He's even bringing an orbital. Is he just expecting a full-on base trade or something? Or is he going to try and mine from Innovation's base here? Oh my gosh, that would be absolutely nuts. Is TY going to land and mule this base? Do it, TY. If you do it, you're a literal god. And oh my god, he's gonna do it. It was a noble attempt, but the command center does just die. These BCs, though, they're actually getting some nice pickoffs. They're actually supply blocking Innovation, who's lost a lot of command centers. He's now gonna lose these high-value supply depots with the supply drop on them. So these two BCs are actually getting insane efficiency for TY. All the while, TY is just kind of cat and mousing Innovation's army. And oh, look at this. TY's moving in. He wants to shut down this base. He forces it off, but he can't take the engagement there. Too many siege tanks. TY is also out on the map with these two BCs. He's going to need to teleport them away. Thanks to their +3 plating, they do escape. Or pardon me, only +2 plating for TY's BCs. Take a look at this, though. TY, with a surplus of gas, since he was making so many bio units this game, has now gone into mass Raven production. And Ravens are very good against mech. They can disable siege tanks, they can use anti-armor missiles. A couple of SCVs being caught here as well is nice for TY. Oh, he's actually forming himself into a concave. Are the Ravens here to help out? No, they aren't, so TY has to go north. But this could be TY's opportunity for a big fight. He does have about a 50 supply lead. Innovation's army is not that big. Here we go. Here's the big engagement. Ravens moving in. A lot of them get picked off by the Vikings beforehand, though, but some of the siege tanks are disabled. The bio is collapsing on top. The siege tanks are being focused down rather quickly, and I think that's going to be it. I think TY, after a long battle, constantly this game, basically just one long battle, has finally been able to destabilize Innovation. He's picked off this base, or he's forced the mining off of it, so Innovation doesn't have that much income to rebuild his army. He's fallen, and it's going to be tough for him to get back up, as it is tough for a meching Terran to reconsolidate, to regain their feet. And as a result, TY, he's just pushing on in further. He hasn't let up this entire game, and he's not going to let up now. He's pushing to the bottom left, going to take out really the last mining base of Innovation, so there's no economy for the Red Terran that's really left. And as a result, I think TY is going to have run away with this game. He worked very, very hard to bring down a meching Terran. It is not easy, and he did a fantastic job, dare I say. This wonderful masterclass play from TY, showing us that he's got the stuff to bring down a meching Terran, even Innovation. You know, it looks like he's just going to try and trade out here. Got to respect these siege tanks a little bit. Innovation's going to land the Vikings to buffer. The tanks are going to shell away. Not the most efficient trade there for TY, but he does have enough supply, and he is going to win it. Wow, beautiful play by TY. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this play, if you saw how sick TY's matches are, press that like button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Daily Starcraft 2. Tournament VODs. Alpha Star videos, then casts like this. That was a doozy, though. A very, very long cast. And, yeah. Thanks to those of you that support the channel. Just anyway, by liking, by subscribing, by using the memberships. Join my Discord. We have a replay submission section on there, which could be fun for you guys if you want to throw your games in. Of course, though, I'll see you next time. This has been LaughNgamez. Thanks for watching.